Hello.
Okay, it's going.
Okay, we are at 7:15. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. We have a quorum of board members here with 5 of us. Would love to have a few more, but we'll see who pops on in. Tonight, start with introductions. Anybody that isn't new here. I'm Greg Hall, I'm the president. Alan, if you'd raise your hand. Alan is the vice president. Paul Davis is our treasurer. And Mary Ross is a board member. Victoria Suzay is a board member. And that's who we have for the board here tonight so far. We have 2 excused absences. The first one, 3. Bill Daly.
Bill, Connie, Gail.
Yeah, Bill Daly, Connie Lawrence, and or
Connie Berry.
Connie Berry and Gail Lawrence. See what you did? His fault.
Yeah.
Do we have any first-time guests here?
First time guest on video, but we've been to the meetings in person. Carrie and John is eating, so he'll say hello in a minute.
Wonderful to see you. Carol, good to see you here tonight.
Hi, Carol.
Hi,
We don't
Carol.
hear you. Let's go ahead and
Just
go on
see you,
with the
Carrie.
Are there any changes to the agenda? I have one, but does anybody else have any changes to the agenda?
Mary, I don't have screen share.
Oh, I will give it to you. Just a second. You're in.
Oh, who's that? Barking.
That is Snoopy Dog, so I'm gonna mute
Excellent.
myself.
Excellent.
This is the corrected version of the agenda for tonight. There was a change. We moved new subscriber features up 1 notch and telephone book down 1 notch. The meeting minutes were provided online and put on out previously. So first, let me start with the agenda. Do I have an approval of the agenda for tonight?
Yes.
That's a motion.
Who made it?
I'm
Darnell and MJ seconded. I think.
Is there any objection? Motion carries. Moving along, approval of the general meeting minutes of June 23rd. Those meeting minutes were provided previously. Alan, I don't know if you want to put those back up or not. They are on out there for available and should have been read prior to tonight's meeting.
I move they be approved as printed.
Do I have a second?
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Is there any objection? Motion carries. Let's move on to Treasurer's Report. Paul, that's you.
Treasury Report. I have to change my glasses.
Now you look like the old Paul.
Oh, Treasury Report. Now let's see what we got here. I got a tome subscriptions, $237. Whoa, this is for the month of August. Our expenses. Annual report to the state, $10. PayPal. Alan will tell us what that is. And insurance premium, total expense is $95. Our revenue is No, I'm sorry. Our general fund balance is 16,507. And in our liabilities, I took a guess at the printing of the phone book of $1,400. Everything else is pretty much routine. Total expenses 6,907. Our surplus is $9,600, and our, after allowing a contingency fund of 2,000, we have now 7,600 we can spend on candy or whatever we want. Any questions?
Ooh, candy.
What?
I said, ooh, candy.
Oh.
No, no.
It shows phone book balance here, 2,200, but we got a couple hundred more since then. I think we're 2,400 now.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Maybe we can give some numbers tonight. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a moment. Any questions on the treasurer's report? It is not one that we move on. We just either, and does anybody else have any other questions before we move on? Yes, Terry.
I do.
Go ahead.
I have a question about the timing when the phone book is coming out.
Alan?
We're
Well, we'll
going
be
to
talking
discuss
about that.
just a little bit.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure. Perfect.
Okay.
I want to thank Paul for all of his work.
Yep.
Yep.
And the other thing is, Paul, how much money have we saved by not having to rent the Grange? How much money have we saved by not having to rent the Grange for tone folding?
Oh, you're talking about rent for the Grange?
Yep,
Well, how many months has it been? It's,
a long
A
time.
year, 9 months.
I don't have that figure added up, but it's probably a few $100s.
Okay. I just wondered.
Now, our big saving is not having printed the tome for a year.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's a major savings.
For those of you who do not tone fold, it's the most fun thing we do every month. Isn't that right, Paul?
Oh, I'm sorry, MJ.
I
Yeah.
said it's the most fun thing we do every month. Tone
Oh.
folding.
Yeah,
It is.
we get to gossip about everybody who's not there.
Well, that's right, except for Bobby doesn't allow gossiping, but you know.
So you know, the Grange does have cameras in there and audio. So
Oh, we're screwed. Okay. Forget it.
just saying. Let's go on to old business. Our LummyIsland.org website. We've got some new developments. We got some stuff that's just absolutely incredible. What's going on there, Alan?
Okay, well, first thing I wanted to address is the line item that Paul mentioned in the treasurer's report. We made a small payment via PayPal to purchase an add-on to one of the systems that we're using in the website that has to do with how you fill out forms and stuff. That's what that little number is for. So things that we've got new, which will be some of which will be activated after this meeting. There's now going to be a frequently asked questions, FAQ section on the website. We have an initial bunch of maybe 12 items that we've put in there, and that will be expanding over time as we see people asking questions and stuff. We muse about stuff, we'll put information in. Some of you may have noticed on the website that there is a little spot that says for you to where you can sign in. Currently, that's used by us in the, in development and whatnot, but in October that will be opening up so that people who are Tome subscribers can request a sign in on the website, and that will give them a bunch of new features. And things like classified ads. There'll be a conversation section. It'll allow you to, if you're signed in, it'll autofill in your name and information for when you sign up for meetings or volunteer through the sign-up system that we've had for quite a while. It'll also allow for voting and poll information for us or any other organization. These things that I'm listing here are for any organization on the island. It is a community website. And then there's a whole bunch of more to come later on in the year and next year. But a lot of it has to do with, you'll have to be able to be signed in to get to it. And that's to make it so that we don't get a lot of spam and off-islanders and people who don't own property on the island giving us a problem. We don't want to become next to the world strange things like Facebook. So, Greg, you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about the phone book.
All right. So let me.
First off, I want to thank the 10 members who contribute a tremendous amount of time and energy and effort. Every one of our board members here, there were a couple others that were not board members that contributed to put it together. And I think we've got the best phone book that we've ever had. Looking at past books, it is so clean, crisp, nice, and it's going to have a map inside of it, the likes of which I was blown away. Wonderful map, wonderful detail. Alan did the layout. Alan coordinated, pulled it all together. Without Alan,
it's a team effort. It's a team effort.
It is a team effort. No two ways around it. Alan,
But of course, it will be obsolete the day after it's printed.
Oh, I hope so.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Part of it is these are members. This isn't everybody on the island. These are members. Now, we try to get as many people as possible. We'd like to have more members. That's a big thing. Let's talk a little bit about the phone book itself, Alan.
Okay, well, the first thing you're going to notice is this is what the old one looked like. You can see the size and the shape of it. And this is the size and shape of the new one. It's a little shorter.
Papers folded differently.
It's a totally different animal. It's 5.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches tall. It allows us to have the same amount of information and about the same number of pages, but this goes through the mailing system much better than this did.
So we're there. The phone book is essentially complete. After this meeting, there will be an executive session of board members only, please. And we will go over the last final detail and then go to press. Hopefully, this will be mailed to everybody by next week.
Yeah.
Wait a minute,
It
there's
will
not
be-
going to be any review?
No, it will be printed
Printed.
next week.
Yeah.
When it gets into the mail, it's another issue.
Yeah, we've got to put labels on, do that kind of stuff. We have gone through a tremendous amount of review. I think we're on version 9.2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
it's gone
what
through.
about- You mean individuals haven't reviewed it? We used
They
to
were
have it
get-
at Islander
everybody-
and
Everybody was given the opportunity at the Islander and at the library to give their new information.
okay,
Also on the website.
my bad. Okay.
We did it. That's the same way it's been done. Other than the website bit, that's the way it's been done in the past too. Is Paul creates a list of everything he has at that moment in time, puts it down at the Islander in the library. It's there for everybody to annotate. Paul then takes that, puts those annotations in. We also got emails, we got forms filled out on the website. And we had changes in like right up to the last minute.
Okay, my bad. I didn't, normally I know all that stuff, but I didn't.
But of course, Greg sort of spoiled it. But we will have a centerfold.
There
Is
is a
Greg gonna be in
centerfold,
it?
There's a centerfold.
and it's not Paul.
No,
Don't disappoint us.
and it's got an interesting cover.
It's got a cover that's absolutely timely and apropos. I am absolutely thrilled with it. The cover was selected before events changed on island, and it is just so perfectly timely. We couldn't have asked for better. So that's going to be absolutely incredible. Look for it in your mail. It'll be printed by next week. I think it's going to go pretty quick into the mail. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's just a matter of we need the physical proof copy back from the printer, and then we pull the trigger on it, and then we have to put the labels on it. Paul is going to be printing up the labels for it, and we'll have a label party, and then you can go back to the post office.
So will we have to tape it like we've done in the past?
No,
Now they're being taped.
Oh,
they're what they call seals. They're the round ones that
Yeah.
you see on all the stuff. It's they have a machine that just goes whap and puts them on there.
damn, that was a good party though, too, when we did that.
Yeah. Well, we'll have the label party, but that's up to Paul as to how we do that. But it's coming soon.
Goody.
Let's go on to new business. Under new business, the board, after we talked about several different things, we looked at what our logo looked like. We agreed upon a motto as well. And we have a new logo and motto. You'll start seeing the logo. You'll notice that Unity is a little bit different typeface. And it's there for a reason. Why don't you go ahead and throw the motto up now. Putting unity back in community. Community, interesting. Paul brought up, does it come from common unity? And the more I dug into the etymology, it comes from a variety of different things. But common unity is something that's important. It was Alan in one of our meetings in particular that then wound up on the website as the website was in development. This isn't Leica's website, it is an island website. What is Leica then? Leica's job is to join, we're in the communication business. We communicate and tie together the various organizations and individuals on this island in common unity. But as I look at our nation, our state, and our island, there is a lot of division going on nowadays. Our job is to bring that unity back. We live here as islanders. Yeah, we're going to squabble. We're going to disagree on stuff. We aren't going to agree on everything, but we're going to look at the common things of organizations, of bringing people together, of providing the information, and that's Leica. So putting unity back in community. And that's our new logo. And
I love it.
That's wonderful.
Very nice.
I love it. Really nice. Thank you.
We need stickers.
Yeah, I want a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There's a funny thing about that. We're working on it.
Oh, good.
And coffee
We need a
cups,
mug
and tote
sticker.
bags,
Yeah,
and t-shirts.
there you
And
go.
hopefully we'll get that all together in the next month or so. And we'll put that on over as a store type available on the website.
Perfect.
The way we do this is interesting. I have friends that do it now, and nobody owns any stock. We don't have to buy 100 cups or 100 shirts or whatever. You go to the site, you click on the link, that manufacturer makes that 1, 2, 3, how many you want, and sends them straight to you. What do we get in return? $1, maybe $2. We're not in it for the money. The manufacturer gets paid, but we're in it to sell the information and to build the community. Because the more people know about Leica, ourlummyisland.org, the more subscribers to the tome, and you have to be a subscriber to get the new features on the website. If you're a subscriber, you wind up with a free phone book. What else could you ask for? I mean, here's all this stuff we give to subscribers. We want more people to join. Simple as that. Let's
Nicely
move
done,
on.
Greg.
Let's
Nicely
move on.
done.
I'm sorry?
I said nicely done.
Thank you. Future Grange meetings and COVID. COVID is a problem. It's going to continue to be a problem. Meeting in public, we're still under the same ends where we're at. We do not have a current contract with the Grange. Until such time as meetings are determined by the board, by the state, by the Grange, and we establish a new contract, we're holding off for now. We'll be in Zoom meetings. I miss potlucks. I didn't get to attend a whole lot of them, but I miss the camaraderie and getting together and having 30 or 40 people in a room, having the speakers in a room making presentations. Hopefully we can get back to that. Hopefully we can get back to at least even having speakers on a monthly basis. Not sure how we're going to do that quite right yet, so that they're able to do their presentation. We'll work on those details. But if you have any recommendations on good topics, I'm open.
And a
Feel free
person to
let me
do it.
know.
And a person to do it.
And a person to do it. Yeah. And a person to do it. That's a great idea. Let us know. We do
Greg,
have to. Yes, Paul.
Greg, just a little note on paying the Grange for rent. While we're folding the tome at the Grange, I am mailing a check to the Grange each month instead of paid in advance, because I don't know what the future is.
We will hold this topic very specifically in our next board meeting, because there are some issues here that are near and dear to my heart and going to be contingent on all of us. I will give you a heads up now that because of COVID, the Grange has not had rentals, has not had fundraisers, has not had the income streams. And unless we do something relatively soon, by the end of December is broke.
The Grange doesn't.
The Grange. Now, that affects every one of us. That affects us as an island. So this will be a topic of discussion for our next board meeting. Variety of things coming forward. COVID has taken a toll. We've lost a restaurant. If we lose the Grange too, we start counting it on down. It's dominoes.
There's some history of long ago that we can talk about that may help a bit.
And that will be very beneficial, but let's save that for the board meeting, because there's several facets to this that we're going to have to discuss, and then we will bring forward in next month's meeting, if that's all reasonable.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Then a topic that is near and dear to my heart because of that lady, because of Mary Ross and Jim Ross, because of Chris Immer and a few others with boats when the ferry went out, a recognized need that has been discussed came very much open. And that is, what do we do when the ferry breaks? Broke again during the wind the other night. We didn't have power at my house for 31 hours because PSE said they couldn't come on over. Of course, and they could have after 9 o'clock at night, but they dropped the ball on that one. Meantime, what do you do when? Emergency management. That's what I did for 20 years in the Air Force, essentially. So Mary, would you please discuss this and the meeting coming on up on the 28th?
Yeah. I'm sure most of you read the article in the Tome about the Emergency Boat Landing Committee. When we had that outage on the 31st, Jim and I were pretty affected by it because we were trying to get him into the emergency room to have a procedure done that he needed to have done pretty urgently, but it was not a life-threatening thing at that point. But we were able to, with the help of the fire department and with Chris Immer being out there volunteering as a good Samaritan to take people back and forth across Hale Passage, we were able to get over to the other side to an aid car and get him into the hospital to get taken care of. And but as we were going down the riprap or the big boulders by the ferry dock, I'm sitting here, Jim's 73, I'm now 69. Neither one of us are as spry as we used to be. But, you know, and there were a lot of other people that probably could not have done that, walk down those rocks very easily. It occurred to me that we need to have some sort of way to allow access to, you know, at least easier access than doing climbing on boulders.
Yeah.
In the case of a ferry outage on a day that was not horrible weather or anything like that. So and like, you know, if for a long-term outage, you can set up, the county will, you know, come over and set up their floating docks and all that kind of stuff. But in these little short ones that we've been having, like 6 hours or, you know, an overnight one, that one on the 31st was an overnight outage that began at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and didn't conclude until 7:30 the next morning. That's not quite enough to, you know, to make it worthwhile to set up and get in an alternate ferry. So it occurs to me that we need to have an accessible landing alternative on the island, and that's it. And so I would like to put together a committee of people that are like-minded that want to like work on coming up with something where we could, because I've been doing some research, and there are a lot of landing crafts that are available out of Anacortes that could come in on short notice possibly. And maybe, you know, San Juan Cruises is local and nice and all that, but they can't come in onto unless there's a dock. And so we need to just examine, like, you know, how we can make this work. And I think we also need to, I know that in the new plans for the ferry, when the new ferry happens and when they reconfigure the docks for the new ferry, there will be a place where a small boat can come in and land. But in the meantime, like, that's at least 5 years down the road, and it may be more. And I think we really do need something to look at now. And so I would really like to invite people to come sign up on the Lummi Island Community website, and come to the Zoom meeting next Tuesday night and contribute with your ideas. That's what I would like to just invite people to do that.
Mary, I know that you generously can contribute your Zoom stuff to the, I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, to Life Hack. But it seems to me like you guys should be working together on this. And I totally get what you're saying. And it's,
Yes.
you know, at the very beginning when I first moved here and there was like, they were going to take the ferry dock away. To me, the whole deal was safety, health, safety. And so, you know, it seems to me like is there a way you guys can work together on this?
I have spoken to the LIFAC at their, I believe it was their August meeting, and I've let them know about this, that I am going to be working on organizing this. I spoke to LICA, to the LICA board, and the LICA board agreed to, you know, support me on this and let me form a subcommittee. And I want this to be a community effort. I know there's lots of different ideas out there. I have a pretty good understanding of what we need, like with docks versus ramps versus all kinds of stuff. And I'm looking for a lot of good ideas and ways of doing things. So if you're interested, just come. But I have spoken with LIFAC and they're on board. And I have spoken with the county and with John Hutchings at Public Works, with Roland Middleton, with the county executive, with Todd Donovan. And I've told them about my experience, and I've said that we are going to be organizing something as a community to see what we can do. So I'm just welcoming, right at this point, it's just welcoming anybody that wants to have input in it and wants to work on it. That's what I would like to have, is just a group of people that care about this issue and see what we can do with it.
And Mary has written an article that is on the community website, front page, that talks about this whole history of it. And
Right.
Some of the
Carol, what were you going to say?
I was just wondering if you've had anybody that has showed interest, Mary, between the article and the tome and anything that's on the website. Have you had some people that have voiced that they would be willing to be on the committee with you?
There's people that have signed up to attend the meeting.
Oh, good.
So yes, and I hope that in the next few days, I can get a few more people. I think there's about 10 people that have signed up, and I've had a couple people who have given me phone calls. So I think there is interest, and I'm reaching out to a couple more people that I've been told that would be good people to talk to. So I'm inviting anybody that wants to work. I don't want this to be my committee. I want this to be our community's committee. So
Mary, I think that the port needs to be a major actor in this.
They do.
Yep.
You know, this was a subject that we brought up at one of our board meetings when it first came on up. Mary opened up about it and we had this discussion. As you all recall, I said, fine, Mary, you're in charge of it. And that's how we started. This is Leica issue. This is a Mary Ross issue. It isn't just Mary Ross. This is a community
Island.
issue. We are the only island in the archipelago that doesn't have a public dock. But that's going to take a lot more money and a lot more time, and we need something now in the interim.
Yeah, and I have done some research into that too, and I do know that our
Current,
next door neighbor island, Sinclair, for a long time had a public dock, but their dock was damaged in 2012 in a large storm, in 2 large storms, and they haven't had a dock, but they have, have changed their way of doing it with, they've got like a ramp that's an access ramp, and now they're getting people back and forth to the island with landing crafts out of Anacortes, and that so you can survive without but that island is even different than us because we do have a ferry. So, but yeah.
But the whole deal is the storm issue and where is a good place to have it. So, and I'm sure
Right.
you've done all that great research because you're very competent.
and that's going to be a great topic of discussion at the meeting next Tuesday.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested and you want
Spread
to
the
put
word.
input, yeah, just sign up and come to the meeting.
Even Mesha Island has a pier, and there's nobody living on Mesha Island.
Oh,
Right. That's a state park, part of this. And so, yeah. Yep.
Well,
Yeah. No, I have visited a lot of the piers and the public docks, and there are quite, Orcas has several of them. San Juan has several piers. That it is important to have an accessible area that can be reached by water in reasonable weather, like on a day like Saturday or Friday.
yeah.
We all live on an island, and we know that's one thing. There's no way we're going to get off that island in weather like that,
Or a major emergency.
or a major emergency in bad weather like that. A helicopter's not going to get you off.
It's not
You're
gonna
gonna
go.
fly in that, and you're not going to be risking people's lives to save one person. I hate to say that, but that's really what it becomes down to, is that it just
needs of the many versus needs of the few.
exactly. So that's one of the things that we as islanders, have to accept. So it wouldn't be something that can be done all the time.
Well, let's
But-
finish up this conversation next Tuesday.
I'm done. Mhm. Sorry, I
Looking
took too
forward to
long.
your meeting.
That's okay. It's going to be a great meeting. Please plan on attending. Please share the word and get it on out there. This is one of those things that affects every single person on this island. That brings us
Okay,
to the
so-
most,
I have a
My
quick.
bad is,
Oh.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No.
no, you
Well,
go
I just-
ahead.
Well, first, I just wanted to say that John and I are going to be at that meeting, Mary, and I also, are you going to put something on next door?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay,
That's what I
good.
was.
That'll actually be going up
Right.
tomorrow.
Okay, good. And then just also, how scary and frightening that must have been for you. So I'm sorry you had to go through that. And I think this is really, really important that we put something in place.
I mean, and this is not the first time this has happened. Ever since I came here, y'all have been, a lot of you have been here longer than me. Longer than I.
Well, that brings us to the most important part of why a lot of people are here tonight, and that's back to Paul. Paul, it is time once again to reach into your magic can, pull out a number, and tell us who is not here to win $100. maybe somebody is here.
No.
524.
520, 529.
Oh,
Okay, 529. Your 9 looks like a 4. Okay.
Okay, now listen to this. We don't have that many people, so we have to draw again.
Back to
I
that
like
subject of we,
524.
back to
That's my
the subject of we need more members.
Yes.
So I put that back in and stir around and pick out another one. Oh no, this is even bigger.
What's the matter with you, boy?
379.
That ought to be a good. That ought to be a good one.
Yep.
Just a minute. You can't see all this mess on my desk, but 320, no, 379. Sorry.
Took off his glasses. Uh-oh.
379 is, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Your goodnesses.
We have a situation here. We have $100 situation here. And guess whose name we just drew?
Paul Davis.
I'm going to double check this. 379. 379. Kerry Guard and John Ptolemy.
Oh!
Yes, we gave away $100.
I haven't won anything for like ever, I think.
No, you won't be able to say that.
absolutely wonderful.
Congratulations.
Nice. That's
Well-
fun.
Very nice. Very
So
nice.
where- So what does that mean? Where are we on that 379? What list did you look up? What does that mean?
I beg pardon, what?
So
That's
you
a-
looked up a list and you looked up number 379.
It's the
Yeah.
total subscribers,
Oh, okay.
one of your benefits.
79th on the list of
Cool.
total subscribers.
I'm writing that number down. That's a good number. I'm gonna put it somewhere in my passwords now when I make a password.
Ah!
It's a winning number.
It is.
I
One of
will,
the, one of the many benefits of being a member by supporting.
Being at the meetings.
That's right.
I will mail you a check.
All right. Thank you.
I am just delighted, thrilled. It's been a magnificent meeting for that reason alone. We've been trying for months.
No.
I'm happy about that.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Thanks,
With
Paul.
that-
Thanks, everyone.
The meeting,
Hey, Max.
unless anybody's got anything really exciting.
I move we adjourn.
Okay.
Oh, Beverly, I concur.
All right.
Moved and seconded. We are
Board.
adjourned.
Board members, stay
We'll
here.
second it.
Board
Bye.
members, please
Good
remember.
night, everyone. Thank
Beverly, you look
Bye, Mary.
lovely.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see all of you.
Be nice to
And
see
thank
all
you,
of you.
thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Victoria.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Awesome.
Going to leave now.
Not you, Paul. You stay
Oh,
put.
I'm sorry.
You can't go yet.
Remember,
That's
you're
right.
on the board.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're down to the board.
I
We're
can't
down to the
believe that
board.
somebody was here to get their prize.
That's wonderful. That's so
That
exciting.
was great.
Let's go over
Recording.
some numbers.
Recording.
Yes. Do you want recording off?
Off.
Okay.
Snoopy, everybody. Everybody out of here. Go on.